on the one hand, they want privacy, as Americans like to say.
Yep.
Privacy here. On the other, they want their cake and eat it. They want public money to support and finance their glorious extensions and refurbishment of their home, but they don't want the public to have any free, unfettered access to what traditionally royals have normally stumped up with, which is, here's a nice little christening set of pictures for you.
Well, I think it's now involving a baby. So I think we have to look at it a little bit different. As a parent of 4, I understand not having your children in the public eye. And I think we know everything that's happened to Harry, and he felt
I'm not paying for your refurbishment of your property.
No, no, you're
and
not.
if you tried that, we would
it's
say no.
But yes, it is. But they are in the public eye. You know, we saw them at the New York Yankees game. They are, you know, they are coming out. Yeah. But it's regarding a baby now.
He's now a father. But whether he likes it or not, unfortunately, Archie's had the same accident of birth. And so trying to be protective like a father, understand that, but he is a member of the royal family, and like it or loathe it, there is huge public desire to see baby Archie on his christening. And why couldn't he do what most members of the royal family have done and have a nice crowd of well-wishers, let's face it, we're not there to criticise, well-wishers there seeing this. You cannot hide away a baby that is funded by the taxpayer.
I don't understand why you can't. I mean, I think that they are giving a certain amount of access. They do release photographs.
Yeah, they released a picture of Archie's foot. That was great, yeah, so we now know that.
But why shouldn't they be allowed to do it the way they want to do it? I just wonder whether it sounds a little spoilt on behalf of the press.
Because they're not private people, Susanna. They're not private people.
But that doesn't mean that they're not entitled to an element of privacy.
Of course they are.
Especially with the baby.
But on a christening, that's a big set-piece thing. And is this the thin of the wedge? Are we going to get to the point that when they go to see baseball players, when they're doing these fantastic things for charity, are the press going to be, and the public, kept away, and it'll all be spoon-fed by what they... You can't have that. That's not democratic. They have to be under the same media scrutiny. If it was the Prime Minister's son who had had £2.4 million spent doing up their apartment, the Prime Minister would have probably resigned by now after last week. So there's another PR disaster for them to then shut the public out of the christening.
I disagree, because I feel that, you know, again, this is a baby, and also we have to remember what Harry went through. They haven't even given the baby a title. So, and they've named him Archie, a completely non-English traditional royal name. They are letting the public know.
He's not a royal.
Right.
Of course.
He's a royal. And look what happened with Prince Andrew. Prince Harry's uncle was incredibly popular. He was the toast of the royal family after he fought in the Falklands War. He was a young, eligible prince, very popular. He is now one of the least popular members of the royal family. And I really like Harry. I would hate that to happen to him.
His mother didn't die being hounded by the paparazzi. We have to have that empathy towards Harry. He lost his mother, age 12. He now is a father. He is going to be so protective of this baby. And I think we have to be incredibly respectful of that. Of course, they've spent the money on their home. They have, you know, they've spent the public money, but they are out in the press themselves as a couple,
here's my problem with
not with the baby.
Here's my problem with the home thing. They're both multi-millionaires, Meghan and Harry, right? They're both multi-millionaires. They get given the home for nothing by the Queen. They didn't pay a penny for the actual property, right? They're just given it by the Queen as a gift, right? So unlike most people, A, they're loaded, both of them, and B, they're given a free property. And then they want the public to pay for almost all the renovations with a bill which is going to end up over £3 million, right? But they don't want the public to have any access to what has historically been with the royal family, normally a pretty open thing like a christening.
Harry
all for us to even know what that £2.4 million is spent on.
Right.
It's private, but it's our money.
If they decided, actually, you know what, we'll pay that money back. We can easily afford that. Would you then feel more sympathetic about them redefining what privacy means?
My personal concern with Harry, as I say, I've known him since he was a teenager, and I think he's a fantastic guy. And when you see these PR disasters week in, week out, which we've increasingly seen in the past few months, I worry for Harry because I think he deserves to be incredibly popular.
I don't think Harry thinks these things through very well. You know, he gives a big climate change speech. You know, we've all got to do more. Then he gets a helicopter to Birmingham. Right, which is a 2-hour car journey. It's like he doesn't think through the potential suggestion of hypocrisy. And I worry about who's advising him, or if they're advising him well, why he's overriding the advice.
But here's the thing, he's just become a parent. It's 7 weeks. They are still learning. And maybe they didn't expect this backlash.
No, of course they did. Of course they did. It's quite deliberate.
And
Harry wants to have his cake and eat it with the media.
Harry's
And it
always
may
broken
be
the
his
rules.
own-
Deliberately provoke a backlash.
Yeah, of course he does.
What, over the money?
He's always broken the rules, though. We've never seen him really abide by the rules. You know, let's be honest, he's never really wanted to be a part of this royal family. He's always broken the rules, taken a step back. You know, his mother died, and that has massively affected him. And I think for them, they will be in the public eye, them as a couple. But with Archie right now, it's a 7-week-old baby.
Yeah.
And they're doing their thing on Instagram.
Yeah.
They've got 9 million followers nearly.
Yeah, but you see, again, Harry made this big speech about we should all cut back on social media, and then they're releasing all the pictures to their Instagram page, right? So they do want their cake and eat it. I'm sorry, they do.
No, I think they're giving a little bit of themselves.
Right, but that's
and
the
then-
old...
and
But that's, sorry, but having been on both sides of this fence, right? I was a newspaper journalist for a very long period of time, ran 2 big papers, then I've been on the other side of the fence. I've seen both sides of this argument for donkey's years. And the bottom line is, they're not private people.
But
They
why
are
shouldn't
public
they be
figures.
entitled to an
They're public
element of
figures who
privacy
want
for their
very
son?
large checks from the public to pay for their house refurb.
Of course, but
don't want to play their part of the game. Meghan didn't turn up when Donald Trump came for his state visit. As
Well, she was on maternity leave.
Well, she managed to turn up for the Trooping the Colour 2 days later. So the only American in the royal family snubbed the United States president quite deliberately. That's not part of the deal. You want your free house and kitchen. You rock up for the duty event.
So my
I'm
point
afraid.
is
want a hell
that
of a kitchen,
if
2.0.
Right.
they paid the money back, do you think you'd give them a kinder pass?
I just think the public love Harry and they want to be able to see him. They shouldn't just be
Yeah, I agree with
spoon-fed
that.
what they want to put out.
I agree with that. OK, well, look, good debate. I think our viewers will be split. They normally are on this kind of thing. I think I personally think the monarchy are great. I have no problem with paying for the monarchy. I have a problem when you get into the weeds of double standards and wanting cake and eat it about this.
I don't
That's
think
what it
Again,
will-
I just think it's a baby, and I think that they're going to be protective. And this is something we have to remember,
Yes.
that Harry is going to be like this the rest of his life because of the tragedy. Had he not suffered that tragedy at age 12, things might be a little
You know
bit
what?
different.
Let me just say on that. A lot of people go through tragedy. A lot of people do.
Yeah.
Right? It can't become the get-all excuse for everything. It can't be. Particularly if you're a member of the royal family. It can't be. Every family has tragedy.
Yeah, but it was the paparazzi.
He's not the only
the
person
paparazzi.
who's ever had
That's
tragedy.
absolutely- the press
He's not the
was
only person
involved.
who's ever lost a parent.
But he lost a parent because of the paparazzi and the press, so he's
Right.
going to be much more
Protective.
But they
of that.
want to use the
Absolutely.
press repeatedly when it suits them to promote themselves, right? When it's the wedding, they want everybody there because it's great for brand Meghan and Harry, right? So you can't turn that tap on and off as and when you see fit. You can try, but the media are entitled, I wear my old media hat here, to say, well, hang on, you want us when it suits you and you don't want us when it doesn't suit you.
But Archie doesn't have a title.
No. Or you can have privacy when you think it works for you and
What's
your
the
family.
main picture of the royals in the papers today? Meghan with her Archie shirt. I
Well,
thought
what was she supposed to do?
Don't
Hand it
pose
back
for a
and say,
picture with it.
Don't take a photo
Don't-
of me.
Yeah, you-
Can
actually-
you imagine the backlash
Yeah, the
against
big-
her?
Given
like
those
that?
pictures were authorised and released, that's exactly what you do. You say, my baby's private, but they don't.
Damn
They want it
if
No,
easy
they
when
there
it-
wasn't a
Damn
picture of the
if
baby in
they don't.
in those photos.
Oh, we got to leave it. We got to leave it.
Thank you so much.
Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure on this one, actually, it'll divide opinion, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes.